Thanks for staying tuned. Rains often delight farmers who depend on it to water their farms and increase yield. But recent rains in Patigi local government area of Kwara State have left most farmers counting losses and not yields. In the Sunday special, our Kwara State correspondent Ibrahim Malege takes a look at the plight of the people of this area.
The journey to Patigi wasn't a pleasant one because of the bad state of the road. Eventually, we arrived Patigi to the waiting arms of palace chiefs who painted a grim picture of what the communities and the local government have been going through in the last 7 years as a result of perennial flooding.
Over 150,000 acres of rice farm was damaged, destroyed. You can't get anything there now except water. Then we have over 200,000 farmers that have been displaced. Some are in Niger, many are in this town now.
Locals in these communities are predominantly arable and fish farmers. And when the floods came calling, majority of them were denied their means of livelihood. Farmlands and houses have been taken over by water. To have access to the submerged communities and farms, we had to board this locally made canoe. Though a bad period for farmers and residents, it's a season of boom for the canoe operators.
Maybe a day you make like 4,000 or 5. But we are not happy like that because it is spoiled many things. We are not happy for it. We are happy we are making money now, but we are not happy for the water to be coming.
Several hectares of rice, maize and millet farms have been lost to flood waters, and residents are counting their losses.
From here, from Baradodgi to Patagban, it belongs to Patigi local government, and all those people are affected. It's more than 20-something villages under Patigi that is affected today.
No food, no shelter, no source of living. The children going to school now, they can't go to school any longer.
Hussein Mohammed is among those who have taken refuge at the internally displaced persons camp in Patigi after losing his farm and residence to the flood.
And this time around, water is never come like this before. It just come fully like that. We cannot get our farmers again, our rooms, properties, everything. This time around, we miss a lot. We thank God we are still alive. But as I'm telling you now, we are not comfortable. Our fathers, our mother are suffering. Nowhere to even make a food to chop.
For 7 years, the Patigi flooding has been consistent, but the magnitude of these years and its attendant effect is severe. Residents attribute this to the opening of the River Niger and Kenji dams, coupled with the persistent downpour. They want the federal government to come to their aid.
What we want the federal government to do for us now, if this water can be stopped at Kenji Dam and Jeba, we'll be able to plant our rice. And people fishing, they will be able to catch fish.
The farmers complain in terms of dredging of this particular river. Yaradua administration of late memory started it. It was packed aside by the previous government, by the successful government. We want this particular government of Muhammad Buhari to assist the people of particular local government to dredge this particular river from Lagos down to Baru, not even stopping at Baru, down to Jeba Aziz, so that people will be able to ensure that, yes, they have a better living of livelihood.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency had earlier warned of impending flooding in some states due to heavy rains this year.
Water, they say, is life, but to the people of Patigi local government, water is taking their means of livelihood. It's quite unbelievable that where we are currently used to be farmland, but now submerged. And what the people of these communities want is for the federal government to control the water coming from the 2 dams within this locality. They also want the federal government to ensure the proper dredging of River Niger. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Patigi local government area of Kwara State.
A really sad situation there. We can only hope that the federal government comes to their aid as soon